Hello and welcome back to this channel. Even though we have so many AI tools now at our disposal, we often don't know how to create the right structure for us. So that's why I'm presenting today Langotalk, which is an AI tool already presenting a certain structure, a certain feedback mechanism, and I really enjoy using the app. That's why I want to present it to you today. As you can see, now I've opened the dashboard, the first page, where we will look at the different components which this app offers. First of all, we have statistics, 300,000 language learners worldwide, 19 languages supported, and 50 plus AI tutors per language. What this means we will discover in detail now. First of all, different parts. They have real-time feedback, which I already mentioned, and which I'm a big fan of because you can automatically see which mistake you did, and you can write it down so you won't do it again. Then we have, they mentioned as part one, we have various AI tutors, which are tailored to you. You can create them or you can choose from different ones. Thirdly, we have practicing with different types of tasks, with different types of exercises, which I will also demonstrate some of them. Further on, we have track your progress. Of course, it is nice to see how much you do every week, set some goals to stay on track and don't break the chain of consistency. Now we're in the lobby, where you will see an overview of the different components of the app, and we will go through each one of them. First, we have chats, which means different categories of topics with different subtopics. We can click in one just to highlight what it would look like. Let's click on hobbies, and here we see we have different types of subtopics, which means that the AI partner will ask specific questions for this context. So if we go, for example, on fitness goals and routines, then you can start the scenario.
Bonjour, avez-vous pensé à un objectif de fitness que vous aimeriez atteindre?
Oui, je voudrais améliorer ma physique cette année.
C'est un excellent objectif. Vous pensez à perdre du poids ou à renforcer vos muscles?
And as you can see, because my device is in German, I get the feedback in German, and I can click on AI Tutor, which means I open the real-time feedback mechanism installed in this program. And here I see I could have also said, instead of je voudrais améliorer, I could have said je souhaite améliorer ma condition physique cette année. So it doesn't mean you did a mistake, but it means you can also change up the words you use or the phrases, which is good to create some variety and don't have a too monotone way of talking. What I then do in order to profit more from this feedback is copying it out and putting it in another Excel file, which I can then review however I want, either through Anki or a different type of writing exercise. But this means I actually capture what I got as a feedback. Now I clicked on hint, which means I get some hints of what topics I can talk about, what questions I can ask, which help me if I might be blocked. So I can use this, or I can also click on translate, and then I can just write the sentence in my origin language and get the French translation and try to then tell it to the AI bot. And if I like one question in particular or think it's particularly useful, I can also save it by clicking on the saving button. And then on the right hand corner, I can look and see which phrases or words I saved in this lecture. Furthermore, I can click on every word in order to translate it. For example, clicking on objective, I get the translation in my target language. I can add it to the collection as mentioned before, or click on learn more about this word. What this means is that I get an in-depth definition of the word and an example sentence, which makes sense because I know then how to apply it. Now in this next category, we have AI characters, which means the AI is programmed in a certain way. For example, to respond in a friendly manner, in a street talk manner, in a funny manner. So this is different modes. We have, for example, here friendly practice tools, entertainment, beginner friendly, role play, professional, games, and community. Community in this case means some AI tutors which have been created by the community. And we can also create them if we want. So based on your mood and interest of the day, you can just choose one of them. So for example, let's choose Elisa, talking about outdoor activities and wellness.
Bonjour. Parlons des activités de plein air et du bien-être. Quel est ton sport ou activité favori?
Now I have different options to respond. I have suggestions, translate, dictionary, and new question. The new question was not there before. If we click on it, we get a new question.
Quelle est ta destination de camping préférée?
Now in order to switch from text to speech, I can click on the right to the symbol and then record. Ma destination de camping préférée est aller avec mes amis au lac, proche de ma ville.
C'est super de camper près d'un lac. Vous avez fait du kayak ou de la randonnée là-bas?
And now it continues asking questions. However, in this case, I don't have the real-time feedback. So if I want this, I have to switch to the other mode. Now let's look at the next category, which is lessons. We can distinguish between community lessons and lessons I created myself. So if you look, there are lots of different community decks which have already been created and I can use. So for example, let's just click on louer une voiture. So renting a car. I start lesson. And now it gives me an example sentence. Bonjour, je voudrais louer une voiture. So that's easy for me to start. I just record it. Bonjour, je voudrais louer une voiture.
Bonjour. Une automatique ou manuelle?
And now it gives me another question. And the nice thing is it gives me also automatic an answer I can use. I can of course say something else, but it's helpful for the beginning. And this is how I can go through the lesson. The other part is creating a lesson by myself. So if I click on create it, I can click on create a lesson. And here I can choose different modes. For example, learning about a topic. I click on it and I can type in about which topic I want to learn more. So let's say I want to learn more about the housing problem in big cities. However, if I don't have an idea, I can also click on random and then it creates a random topic for me. I can also distinguish between beginner, intermediary, advanced, fluent and native, which then means it gives me different topics. Of course, as a beginner, I don't talk about topics which maybe a fluent person would like to talk about. If I click then on create lesson, it creates a specific lesson based on the input I gave it. Now that the lesson has been created, we have a lesson called Problème de logement dans les grandes villes. And I can just click on it and then the lesson opens and I can start working on it. I click on continue. I click on continue. And as you see, it gives me some information like input about the problem. And then I can decide which problem I see as the biggest problem.
Déficit de logement disponible.
And it also always gives me the pronunciation of the phrase or word, which helps.
La demande et l'offre.
And as you see, it is in a quiz format. So this gamifies also the experience and makes it more fun, because in the end, it's important to maintain fun. Now lastly, we have the progress page. On this account, I only have a day streak of 1, but this is a start and keeps me motivated to keep up the chain and shows me different points and different messages sent, as well as lessons completed. So I think this can help to always keep the consistency up. Lastly, in the profile section, you can change your native language and your target language, as well as your level, which means the decks which are shown to you, the exercises, the topics change. I hope you enjoyed this video and also an insight into how this app works. I think it's a nice app because it combines different aspects of language learning, it gamifies the whole experience and gives you a sense of breaking everything down. You can click on one lecture, do one lesson a day, and don't have to think about what do you want to learn on that day and how to create a lecture or lesson by yourself. Nonetheless, of course, you could make the effort and do it by yourself with AI. However, I think the structure given and also the gamifying experience is definitely worth it. So I hope you try it out and give me feedback on how you like this app. Now, how could you use these principles if you don't want to spend money? You could, of course, ask AI or generally make research about different topics, which I already mentioned in other episodes. So you can break down big topics and then ask AI, ChatGPT or other platforms to create a specific lesson for you. Then you can also, of course, have an Excel file where you keep track of which decks you did and which not, which maybe were hard or which were easy. And this is how you can then also, on your own, create the structure needed. And also, you can ask ChatGPT to make it a bit more interesting, more funny. But as I mentioned before, the structure given by this app I really like because it gives you a sense of just knowing what to work on instead of having to create it by yourself. So I think especially for the beginning, it can help and give you lots of different activities to work on.